Our top 5 weekend wonders next.
CapeCast.
Howdy folks, I'm Eric Williams and welcome to CapeCast, the official webcast of the Cape Cod Times for November 7th. We'll tell you where to go for weekend fun in the second half of the show. But first, let's take a look at news. In breaking news, conservation trails at Dennis Pond in Yarmouthport have been closed because of ongoing reports of illegal sexual activity, according to Yarmouth Police. Police say the area has generated chronic reports of lewd and lascivious public behavior. Stay tuned to CapeCodOnline.com for more on this story. Hey folks, what are you doing this weekend? Almost live from the recently refurbished Uncle Tim's Bridge in Wellfleet, it's CapeCast's Top 5 Weekend Wonders! What's the tastiest village of Barnstable? Hard to tell. But Marston's Mills says, come on down and try some of the most delicious things in town. There's a nice event coming up. And Antonia, what is it?
It is Taste of Marston's Mills, and it is happening this Sunday, November 9th, from 5 to 7 p.m., and it is next door to the library at lovely Liberty Hall.
What's going to happen?
Well, we've invited our patrons, the staff, and the board, and actually we asked some of the restaurants in town to provide a hearty dish, a soup, a stew, or a chili. Plus, we asked some people to bake breads and some desserts, and we're going to give people a sampling of some of these items and let them choose their favorite. And just, you know, kind of a way to get people to come out on a fall evening and meet their friends and neighbors and, you know, just have a good time and raise a little bit of money for the library.
Tickets for the taste are $15 and can be purchased at the library or at the door. Once you eat up, you might want to walk off some calories, and we suggest getting out to Fort Hill in Eastham, one of the great open vistas of Cape Cod. There's several miles of trails and miles of views. You can even connect to the Red Swamp Trail if you want to get inside some wetland. Man, what a place. The history of Fort Hill remains shrouded in mystery, especially if you don't take the time to read up on the history of Fort Hill. Men of Rome, I know you're down now. We seem to have taken a wrong turn at Sparta and ended up here in the new land. Plenty of oysters and clams, though, on the bright side, so put down the hemlock and let's have a good time. The American music scene is littered with Seegers. You got Bob Seger, Pete Seeger, and of course Peggy Seeger. And Peggy Seeger, the half-sister of Pete Seeger, will be playing at the First Encounter Coffee House in Eastham on Saturday. Here's what she sounds like.
Mama is the one for me. Ask the birds, ask the bees. He won't rest upon his tush. He's a tree, not a bush. Obama is the one for me. If it's locked, he's got a key.
Peggy plays the First Encounter Coffee House at 7:30 Saturday. For more information, www.firstencounter.org. Tickets are $15.
Hey, do you like modern architecture? Like St. James the Fisherman Chapel here in Wellfleet? Well, the Outer Cape is stocked with really cool modern houses. And you can find out more about them this weekend.
Peter McMahon of the Cape Cod Modern House Trust will lead a talk and slideshow about modern architecture on the Cape at 2 p.m. on Sunday at the Cape Cod Museum of Art in Dennis. Oh, there you are. We're reading Eudora Welty today, her short story Lily Daw and the Three Ladies. Mrs. Watts and Mrs. Carson were both in the post office in Victory when the letter came from the Ellisville Institute for the Feeble-Minded of Mississippi. To find out what was in the letter and to hear two of Eudora Welty's stories read aloud, get on down to the Woods Hole Public Library on Sunday at 3 o'clock for Story Hour for grown-ups. You know, as long as we're getting all welty with it, Antonia, you have some peculiar Eudora Welty tale.
I do. I've never really read much Eudora Welty, but when I was in college, I had a dream, and in my dream, I was reading a Eudora Welty poem, and the only line that I remember from the poem was, "How gross you look in that infinity of leaves and berries." And I really don't think that that's a Eudora Welty poem, but it was in my dream.
What will Eudora Welty do to you? Pick up a book. Now let's check the all-important Cape and Islands weather forecast, backed by silvery surf from McGuire Landing in Wellfleet. For tonight, cloudy with a low around 49. For Saturday, cloudy with a high near 62. And for Sunday, Mostly cloudy with a high near 58. Okay, we've got to get out of here. This has been CapeCast for November 7th. Till next time, see ya!
CapeCast.